come get some what?
All I came for to get some Makita.
Makita cook. Get the sign.
Come back.
Yo, this new footage of Young Dolph is going viral, and it's hitting different. The clip shows Dolph just minutes before he got ambushed, looking calm and smiling, with no idea what was coming. It's not just trending because of the tragedy. Either, people are saying these videos shine a whole new light on the case. Some even believe it exposes key details that went unnoticed until now. Let's break it all down. According to reports, body cam footage captures Dolph at Makita's homemade butter cookies in Memphis, right before the attack. It's a heartbreaking glimpse into an ordinary moment before a life-shattering event that shook the entire Memphis hip-hop scene. On November 17, 2021, Young Dolph, 36, pulled up to the cookie spot, not just as a customer, but as someone who truly supported the place. He'd even shown love to the shop just a week earlier. Surveillance footage shown during Justin Johnson's trial on September 23, 2024, reveals Dolph and his brother Marcus arriving in his camo Corvette. Inside, Dolph is seen on his phone, casually chatting with a store employee while picking out cookies. But then, everything shifts. The employee suddenly looks toward the front of the store and bolts to the back. That's the exact moment. Chaos was about to break loose. Right after, a stolen white Mercedes-Benz pulls up. Two men, later identified as Justin Johnson and Cornelius Smith, jump out and start firing through the shop front. The attack was brutal. An autopsy would later reveal Dolph was hit 22 times, showing just how violent the ambush was. What makes it even more heartbreaking? Dolph wasn't just out for cookies. He was on his way to St. James Missionary Baptist Church to hand out turkeys for Thanksgiving, a tradition he upheld every year to give back to his community. That's who Dolph was, not just a rapper, making bangers, but someone committed to uplifting the hood. Real fans know Dolph was always aware of the danger around him. In a 2017 interview with The Breakfast Club, he spoke candidly about the threats he faced. Even with all the success, he never sugarcoated the reality of having enemies.
Streets, I ain't never trust nobody. So now, years later, and I'm on doing some whole nother, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, now I don't trust nobody. So I just feel like, oh, this is how I'm moving. Cause I know I got people don't like me. Plenty.
This wasn't just Dolph being paranoid. The threats on his life were real. In 2017, he survived a shooting in Los Angeles where he was left in critical condition, but he pulled through. That same year, his car was sprayed with over 100 bullets during CIA weekend in Charlotte, North Carolina. Somehow, he walked away from that too, thanks to a bulletproof vehicle. But Dolph didn't just survive. He turned the pain into art. He dropped a whole project called Bulletproof, featuring tracks like 100 Shots and But I'm Bulletproof, directly addressing the attempts on his life. When he pulled up to the Breakfast Club, they asked him straight up if naming the project. Bulletproof was like inviting more heat. Dolph stayed solid and didn't hesitate. He responded,
Even care, I don't even give a damn. That's what the whole thing is about. Like me, I don't give a damn about it. I'm finna keep on doing what I've been doing.
Dolph's whole vibe was built on resilience and fearlessness. He never moved scary, even though he knew there were haters plotting. That fearless energy was part of what made him so respected. Now here's where it gets deeper: the stolen. White Mercedes used in the hit wasn't just some random getaway car. According to court documents, that same vehicle was linked to another shooting in Covington, Tennessee, just 5 days earlier on November 12, 2021. After Dolph was killed, police found the Mercedes abandoned in the 1100 block of Bradley Street in Orange Mound, Memphis. That discovery cracked things wide open. From there, investigators were able to piece things together using surveillance footage, phone records, and witness statements. All of that helped them build a case and eventually arrest the alleged shooters. As for Dolph, he wasn't just another rapper. He was an independent powerhouse. He came up through pure hustle, dropping standout projects like King of Memphis in 2016 and Rich Slave in 2020, with Rich Slave climbing all the way to number 4 on the Billboard 200. What really set him apart in the industry? His refusal to sell out. Dolph turned down major label deals to stay in control of his music and his money.
And when did music start becoming a thing for you?
Started making music like 2008, 2009. I started just
I did like my first song, just playing, you know what I'm saying, ratting around, joking, tripping in the trap, kicking it, you know what I'm saying, with homeboy. Like, man, these rappers, they lying, they this, they.
Beyond the music, Young Dolph was deeply rooted in his community. He wasn't just rapping about the streets, he was giving back to them. From his annual Thanksgiving turkey giveaways to school donations and low-key charity moves, Dolph had earned genuine respect from the hood. Behind the tough image and street-heavy lyrics, he was a family man. And to those closest to him, he showed a whole different side. Fast forward to September 2024, nearly 3 years after Dolph's murder, the case finally hit the courtroom, and what came out during the trial was straight-up wild. Prosecutors made it clear from day one. This wasn't some random act of violence. It was a premeditated hit, and multiple people were involved. The trial of Justin Johnson, one of the alleged gunmen, began on September 23, 2024 in Memphis. One of the most crucial pieces of evidence? The security footage from inside Makita's homemade butter cookies, which showed Dolph's final moments before the shots rang out. While stills had been floating around online since the day of the murder, this was the first time the full video was shown publicly, and it left the courtroom stunned. Several witnesses took the stand during the trial, including Cornelius Smith, the second alleged shooter, who shocked everyone when he flipped and cooperated with prosecutors. Smith testified that Johnson was indeed the other shooter involved in the hit. But one of the craziest moments came when Smith revealed how much he got paid, just $800. That's it, for the killing of a rap icon. That low payout had folks wondering, was this just a setup by some street dudes, or were they pawns in a much bigger game? Just a few days later, on September 26th, the jury returned its verdict. Justin Johnson was found guilty on all counts, including first-degree murder and conspiracy. He was sentenced to life in prison. According to reports, Johnson didn't even flinch when the verdict was read. No emotion, no reaction. But here's where the case exploded even more. During the trial, prosecutors dropped a bombshell. They alleged that Anthony Big Jook Mims, the brother of Yo Gotti, had put a $100,000 bounty on Dolph's head. If true, that claim could tie the murder directly into one of Memphis hip-hop's deepest feuds. To understand the weight of that allegation, you have to know the backstory between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti. On the surface, they were two successful Memphis rappers from similar backgrounds. But behind the scenes, they'd been beefing for years. A rivalry fueled by diss tracks, subtle and not-so-subtle shots on social media, and what many saw as real street tension. It all traces back to a moment in 2014, when Dolph appeared on Sway in the Morning to promote his mixtape, High Class Street Music 4, American Gangster. He revealed he had curbed an offer to sign with Yo Gotti's CMG label, choosing instead to invest in himself and build his own movement with Paper Route Empire. According to Dolph, Gotti didn't take that well, and that's when things started to shift. Even though Gotti never publicly admitted this was the source of the tension, the streets felt it. Then, in February 2016, Dolph sent Twitter into a frenzy with a post that was clearly a shot. Though he didn't name-drop Gotti, everyone knew who it was aimed at. The beef started boiling over in public. Strangely enough, just days later, Dolph downplayed it during an interview on Hot 97's Ebro in the Morning, calling the beef overstated and even giving props to Gotti as one of his early supporters. He also made it clear that his album title, King of Memphis, wasn't meant as a diss, but simply reflected how he saw himself in the game. Still, the tension kept building. In multiple interviews in 2017, Dolph was asked why he and Gotti couldn't just squash the beef and get to the money. Dolph didn't dodge, he was direct. He spoke on their early interactions and explained that at the end of the day, he was always about ownership, independence, and standing on his own, even if that meant creating enemies along the way.
Wild and G, Gotti, like, Yo Gotti was the first person that would reach out to me and be like, I want to stand. He came to me like, let's do CMG and Paper Route.
But things really escalated on March 2nd, 2017, when Black Youngsta, a CMG artist and Yo Gotti's right-hand man, took the beef to a whole new level. He posted a video on Instagram directly calling out Young Dolph, challenging his claim to the King of Memphis title. Then came the real provocation. Black Youngsta and his crew rolled deep into Castalia, Dolph's own neighborhood in Memphis, recording themselves fully strapped, allegedly on the hunt for Dolph. Dolph wasn't around when they pulled up, but the message was loud and clear. This wasn't just rap beef anymore. It had spilt into real-life territory, with serious potential for violence. Later, Yo Gotti tried to distance himself from the whole situation. In an interview with Tim Westwood, he addressed Black Youngsta's behavior, saying, "That's the little homie on the team, so I'm always going to give him the advice I think I should give him. From a big brother standpoint, or just being the homie, my advice is I don't move like that. And I'm always going to tell not only him, but any young dude, don't handle your business like this." Meanwhile, Dolph saw all this as part of what he called the Memphis syndrome. In his view, it was a toxic mentality that kept local artists from supporting each other. A mindset where instead of linking up and building together, jealousy and ego led to division and destruction.
If you, fall out, where I'm from, bro, killing their best friend, killing their brother, crossing them out. You feel what I'm saying? Pulling moves on all this because of jealousy. You feel what I'm saying? But it's just something about it. It's just...
The conflict reached a dangerous peak in February 2017 when Young Dolph's vehicle was sprayed with over 100 bullets in Charlotte, North Carolina. Remarkably, Dolph walked away unharmed and later addressed the incident in his track 100 Shots. Surviving what appeared to be a clear assassination attempt only added to his legend, reinforcing his image as untouchable in the rap game. By March 2017, Dolph seemed ready to move on from the feud, brushing off questions about his issues with Yo Gotti during an interview, saying, "You know what I'm saying? It's old," signaling his desire to focus on his future. Tragically, any hopes of peace were shattered on November 17, 2021, when Dolph was fatally shot in Memphis. It's important to note that Big Jook has not been charged in connection with the murder. The allegations surfaced during the trial. Prosecutors named Hernandez Govan as a key figure in the conspiracy, accusing him of being the mastermind behind the hit. On December 13, 2024, Govan rejected a plea deal and opted to stand trial, which is scheduled to begin on July 28, 2025. The outcome of the trial could potentially uncover deeper details about the planning and motives behind Dolph's murder. One aspect that drew significant attention during the proceedings was the criminal background of the defendants. Testimony revealed that several of them had extensive rap sheets, but were still active on the streets. This harsh reality became a focal point in the advocacy work of Dolph's longtime partner, Mia J. In a 2023 interview, Mia spoke passionately about the systemic issues contributing to the violence, reflecting not only on Dolph's tragic death, but also on the murder of her own brother, who was killed in 2020, a year before Dolph.
The person who took my brother's life, he was on his 5th offense when he took my brother's life. And that is the statistics show that is kind of becoming a norm and have become a norm.
She continued to draw parallels between her brother's murder and Dolph's case, highlighting the recurring patterns of violence and the failures of the justice system that allowed dangerous individuals to remain on the streets. Through her advocacy, she aimed to shed light on the broader issues that contributed to both tragedies, turning her personal pain into a push for change.
But it's very similar. It's like if you look at their track record, it's like they've done some other things that's like, bro, how are you even out here?
How are you outside
with
all the things that you have committed prior to?
These comments point to a much broader issue beyond just Young Dolph's case. The systemic failures that allow violent offenders to remain free despite repeated offenses. This aspect ties directly into wider conversations about criminal justice reform and the urgent need to keep communities safe. So why is this story going viral again in 2025, even though Dolph was killed in 2021 and the trial concluded in late 2024? The renewed attention stems from the release of previously unseen surveillance footage shown during the trial. While some still images had circulated before, the full video showing Dolph's final moments added a powerful and emotional layer to the case, sparking fresh public interest. The footage, combined with explosive allegations that Big Jook may have ordered the hit, quickly spread online, drawing in viewers and reigniting debate. However, the sudden surge of views also brought some confusion. Misleading headlines and social media posts led some people to falsely believe new footage had surfaced showing Young Dolph alive. To be completely clear, the footage is from 2021 and depicts the moments leading up to his murder. It is not proof that Dolph is alive. He tragically lost his life that day. His death left an undeniable void, not just in the Memphis community or the hip-hop industry, but most deeply in the lives of his loved ones. In this final section, we look at how those closest to him have coped with the loss, the initiatives that emerged from this tragedy, and the lasting legacy of the man often called the King of Memphis. Tributes poured in from across the music world, with artists like Chance the Rapper, Gucci Mane, Lil Yachty, and DJ Academics publicly expressing their sorrow. These tributes honored not only Dolph's music, but also his character, business acumen, and positive influence in the rap community. Perhaps the most powerful voice in the aftermath has been his time partner, Mia J. The couple shared 2 young children who were just 6 and 9 years old in 2023, around 4 and 7 when they lost their father. In a heartfelt 2023 interview, Mia described Dolph as her soulmate and has since become a prominent advocate against gun violence, turning her grief into a mission for change.
Dolph was my soulmate. We talked about that like 2 months. September 17th, I was looking at my text one day. September 17th, where I was like, we're each other's soulmate. Like, look at this. Torrey Roberts had this whole definition of what a soulmate was. And when I saw it, I was like, it's the person that God aligns you with to help you fulfill your purpose.
In a heartfelt interview, Mia J. spoke about the deep and unbreakable bond she shared with Young Dolph, describing him not just as her partner, but as her soulmate, a man whose love, support, and presence shaped every part of her life.
I mean, I'm glad that God decided, I hate that I truly do hate that he was taken away from me. And we wasn't able to experience life through and through until we was old. I wanted to grow old with him.
Yeah.
But I'm glad
have
that I
some
got to
grandkids. And
Perhaps the most profound aspect of Young Dolph's legacy is the Black Men Deserve to Grow Old movement, founded by his partner, Mia J. What makes this initiative even more remarkable is that Mia had already launched it following the tragic death of her own brother, before Dolph's untimely passing. Her personal losses fueled her determination to advocate for change and ensure that other families wouldn't experience the same heartbreak.
I really, Black men deserve to grow old. He deserved to grow old.
The movement highlights the disproportionate impact of violence on young Black men, a message Mia passionately conveyed in her interview. She explained that Black men deserve to grow old isn't just about grief, but about fighting for a future, where Black men can live without fear of violence prematurely cutting their lives short.
However, I'm like, it happens so much in ours. Like, Black men are 20 times more likely to be killed between the ages of 0 and 44 than any other, nationality, and that's a problem. And it's like premature deaths, violence, and all of that. And when I said that September 17th, 2021, I didn't know to the extent. I'm thinking raising kids, doing family stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
But at this point, when I look back at acknowledging that and seeing that, it's like, his legacy, his death will not be in vain. The change that will be sparked through his name, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm willing to
step into that.
One of the most heartbreaking aspects of any murder is the lasting impact it has on the children left behind. Mia J. has been open about how their children have struggled with the loss of their father, sharing the emotional toll it has taken on them as they try to navigate life without Dolph.
And are they understanding?
Very understanding. Very understanding. It's crazy to me how understanding that they are.
This simple yet profound prayer reflects the family's commitment to resisting hatred and bitterness, even in the face of such overwhelming loss. Beyond his immediate family, Young Dolph's death sent shockwaves through Memphis. After his murder, the city mourned deeply. A private funeral was held on November 30th, 2021, followed by a public celebration of life at the FedEx Forum on December 15, 2021. In honor of his legacy, a street was renamed after him, and Maka's Cookies, the site of the shooting, temporarily closed before reopening. The shop became a pilgrimage for fans, with murals and memorials springing up to honor the fallen rapper. A pop-up museum was also created to celebrate his life and achievements. Dolph's influence on music didn't end with his death. His collaborations with artists like Key Glock and Megan Thee Stallion continue to resonate with fans, and his posthumous album Paper Route Frank, released on December 16, 2022, brought new music from the late rapper. Dolph's independent approach to the music business also left a lasting legacy, inspiring a new generation of artists to retain ownership of their music rather than signing to major labels. His business model, which prioritized entrepreneurship and ownership, was ahead of its time, offering a blueprint for artists in an industry that has historically exploited them. While Justin Johnson has been convicted and sentenced for his role in the murder, other aspects of the case remain unresolved. Hernandez Govan, the alleged mastermind, is scheduled for trial in July 2025, and the allegations surrounding Big Jook's involvement are still just that: allegations without charges. As of this video's creation, for Mia J, justice is about more than just locking up those directly involved in Dolph's murder. It's about addressing the systemic issues that allow violence to fester in communities. The pursuit of justice for Dolph is ongoing, and for his family, justice means more than convictions. It means tackling the root causes of violence and preventing similar tragedies from happening in the future. Dolph's murder is unfortunately part of a troubling pattern of violence against hip-hop artists, raising tough questions about the music industry, the glorification of street life, and the real dangers facing artists who come from challenging environments. While Dolph's music often referenced street life and conflicts, those who knew him personally emphasized that he was about more than the tough persona portrayed in his lyrics. As we reflect on the tragedy of Young Dolph's death and the viral footage of his final moments, several important lessons emerge. First, the value of giving back. Despite his success, Dolph remained deeply connected to his community, regularly participating in charitable efforts. He was reportedly on his way to a turkey giveaway the day he was murdered, demonstrating his commitment to uplifting others. Second, the dangers of unresolved beef. The alleged motive behind Dolph's murder, an ongoing feud between rival record labels, underscore how conflicts can escalate into devastating consequences. Third, the importance of breaking cycles of violence. Through her Black Men Deserve to Grow Old initiative, Mia J is addressing the root causes of violence and advocating for systemic change to prevent more tragedies. Finally, Dolph's story serves as a powerful reminder of the impact of violence on families beyond the headlines and viral content. Behind every victim of violence is a family left to pick up the pieces, and the resilience shown by Mia J and their children is a testament to healing without surrendering to hatred. Young Dolph's legacy is one of remarkable talent, entrepreneurial success, and devastating loss. Thank you for watching this video. If you found it informative, please consider liking, subscribing, and checking out any of the cards on your screen right now to keep the conversation going.